quarter puts the game clock to bed for good. You add 7 points to the leading team's score. That becomes the game's target score, and you play to that target score instead of playing to the end of the game clock. Less than a minute in, already one foul. Stefan Hanna for the 11 seed, the region.
And that's a great matchup. Stefan Hanna and Tradion Hollins. Both guys that are very capable of running the show. Tradion Hollins, a guy that was 6th in the Summit League all time in steals despite only playing 2 years. So he's really going to try to get in to the wily veteran Stefan Hanna.
This Fort Wayne Champs team is composed of a lot of G League players. So there is a G League team in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, and a lot of teammates on the G League roster have filled out the TBT roster for the Fort Wayne side.
Well, that was Malcolm Griffin, and just in talking to the region's coach, Bo Patton, he said, look, this guy is one of the best players in Chicago that's not in the NBA. He can flat out score it. He's really impressed in the region's training camp.
That's Trey McKinney-Jones, who weaves his way through traffic, left it off the right side of the rim, and then took a hard fall. It goes to the region. And as you said in the opening segment, Trey McKinney-Jones just signed a 2-way contract with the Celtics. And again, this tournament, TBT, is open to anybody. You and I could play in this tournament. Now, a lot of NBA contracts stipulate being unable to play in a tournament like this, but a lot of times the 2-way contracts still allow players to compete in TBT.
And pretty cool that Trey McKinney-Jones is still here. A lot of guys would say, hey, I've accomplished my goal for the summer. I'm good. But clearly, McKinney-Jones has big ambitions for $2 million.
That's a bucket and a foul for Fort Wayne's Stephen Hicks, 6'6", 200-pounder, 26 years old.
You talk about playing in transition, just puts his head down, lowers his shoulder, goes right through that contact, keeps his eyes on the rim. You see the focus and concentration right there. Great finish, chance for a three-point play.
Fort Wayne won a TBT game last year, also as a 6th seed. In fact, they knocked off the Peoria All-Stars before falling in the 2nd round last year to another team with ties to Peoria, Illinois, always a Brave. Malcolm Griffin off the mark.
Well, the region is really trying to get Malcolm Griffin going. We have seen them draw up now. That's back-to-back-to-back plays for him to either ISO or run off a screen and come get a three-point shot. Very talented scorer. A guy that Fort Wayne's going to really have to defend if they want to win tonight.
Broughton up and under, short. Hops into the backcourt. Fort Wayne's got it. Up to TMJ, mid-range game. Off the rim, Hicks nearly threw it down. Look out, it's only the 1st quarter.
Wow, he exploded off the floor there for that offensive rebound. Steph Hicks, quite the athlete. He's been active early in this game. Trey McKinney-Jones, nice pull-up game, just a little bit short and out of nowhere. Better check that man out. You're not going to block out. You can find yourself getting dunked on when Steph Hicks is in the game.
And as far as G League teams are concerned, one of Fort Wayne's parent clubs is the Indiana Pacers, which makes sense. The Pacers had a pretty good season at the NBA level last year, and it was hard to be a regular contributor on the NBA roster, so a lot of the guys that Indiana sent to its G League roster are pretty darn good too.
Indiana has utilized that G League team in Fort Wayne and done a nice job. So many guys on this Fort Wayne's Champs team have played together. You have to think that is going to really pay dividends here in terms of having great chemistry.
Hicks in the corner. Off the front of the rim, great feed from Trey McKinney-Jones, and then a takeaway at half court. That one was nearly coming in our direction. Hollins has it to Mavunga. Pure.
Julian Mavunga able to spot up in that corner. Tradion Hollins finds him. And Mavunga, an Indiana guy himself, Indiana got that reputation to shoot the basketball. It does it right there.
I look over at you every time you make a reference to Indiana basketball. Got a wry smile on your face.
Tradeon Hollins, you got a point guard that can find the shooters. As a shooter, you just love that feeling. You know he's going to put it right in your hands. Mavunga spots up in the corner and calmly knocks down the triple.
Fast start for the Fort Wayne champs. Mavunga got around his man and then draws contact in the lane.
You just love the way that he embraced that physicality right there, though. Took the contact, lowered his shoulder. Nice drive there from Julian Mavunga. Stefan Hanna gambling on the bounce pass and gives Julian Mavunga the lane right to the rim.
Mavunga is listed at 6'8", 240. He's 28 years old. He was born in Zimbabwe, and his younger sister, Steph, had an outstanding college basketball career. She started her college basketball career at North Carolina and then transferred to Ohio State. She was an all-Big Ten player this year.
Julian Mavunga, a very good player in himself, won a state championship at Brownsburg with Gordon Hayward, went on to Miami of Ohio, and led the MAC in scoring and rebounding.
And that stays with the region. Even expanding the region to the states of Illinois and Indiana. Obviously, we're in the Midwest region, but it's amazing just how many teams are composed with guys from those two states alone.
I just think you look at the talent in those areas. Chicago, a great basketball city, but then Indiana has its traditions in itself. A lot of good players. You look at any level that have come from the state of Indiana and Illinois.
Wesley, tough shot. And the rebound is pulled in by William Walker. How did Hanna hang on to that one? It rims out. DeAndre Thomas, big fella, gets stripped underneath, but draws the foul. Robbie, there were some questions as to whether or not DeAndre Thomas would actually be able to make it to the first round of TBT this year. He was on the roster, then he was off, and for a lot of teams, sometimes you don't really know who's going to be on the floor until tip-off.
Yeah, that's just a part of this TBT tournament, but good to see the big fella here. My freshman year at Purdue, DeAndre Thomas was a part of the Indiana Hoosiers, and try blocking him out at the free throw line. Good luck. He was a force.
Still listed at 300 pounds.
But honestly, with his size, he does have a nice skill set. He can put the ball on the floor, can shoot it a little bit. Very interesting skill set for his size.
And he coaxed that one in. 5-point lead for Fort Wayne. Single elimination tournament, 72 teams come in, only one comes away with the $2 million prize. Mavunga pumps, tries it on the second go. And the rebound is snared by Malcolm Griffin, who, by the way, Robbie, is a 5-year TBT veteran. He's played in all 5 TBTs.
Spent last season in St. Petersburg, Russia. Part of the VTB League, very good league in Europe. And as we said earlier, just a guy that can score the ball.
And you've noticed how the region is trying to make him a pretty important part of their offensive game plan early. DeAndre Thomas probes the lane. Boy, that was an athletic play for a 300-pounder. It's off the rim, and then Fort Wayne takes it away. Tradeon Hollins with a nifty move.
Well, there's those quick hands. There's a reason that he had so many steals in college. Quick hands, defense leading to offense. Nice job by Tradeon Hollins.
Thomas back to Perrin. And here comes Stephen Hicks. Up to Hollins one more time.
Great
back
pass.
to Hicks. Soft lay-in. And the foul.
Right now for Fort Wayne, it is defense getting it done and leading to easy offense. Tradeon Hollins leading the break. Beautiful bounce pass. Steph Hicks with the finger roll. And Bo Patton wants to talk this over. He's going to take a timeout and try to regroup with this region squad.
13-4, Fort Wayne over the region. If it looks like Fort Wayne has played together before, they have in the G League. Now they're looking for success.
Play Connection by One Republic.
My waves get lost in the ocean. 7 billion swimmers, man, I'm going through the motions. Can I get a connection? Can I get a connection?
Is this AT&T Innovations?
Yeah, wow. This must be for one of our new unlimited wireless plans. Comes with a ton of entertainment options.
Great. Can you sign for this?
Yeah.
Hey, what's in that one? That's a shark.
New and only with AT&T, you can get unlimited data, 30+ channels of live TV, and your choice of things like HBO or Pandora Premium. More for your thing. That's our thing. Visit att.com.
Some Indiana Pacers fans in the stands, and one of the Indiana Pacers G League affiliates, the Fort Wayne Champs, is off to a pretty good start over the region in the first round of TBT play. An Iowa State alumni team plays in the nightcap tonight from Columbus, Ohio. We'll have that game later on ESPN3. A fantastically fun day of basketball so far to kick off the TBT tournament in the Midwest region. Alongside Robbie Hummel, my name is Chris Fosters, and shifting our attention briefly to the Northeast. Number 1 seed Boeheim's Army is getting all it can handle from the 16 seed South Jamaica Kings. We'll keep you posted on just where that game is headed as our game advances along still in the first quarter. Stephen Hicks at the free throw line. He's made some very athletic plays already in this game.
He's impressed. I mean, I have been so impressed with his athleticism, his ability to get to the rim, and his motor. He has really played hard and competed, and he's gotten it done so far for Fort Wayne.
Thomas to work in the paint.
He takes up so much space. Anthony Kent, a very good player right there. You just can't let him cut across your face, because once he catches that ball, he really just puts you in jail. Great flash by DeAndre Thomas, and a nice job of just going to the rim, getting to a spot, and drawing a foul.
Anthony Kent is 6'10", but DeAndre Thomas outweighs him by 70 pounds. And the region has struggled to find its offense here in the first quarter. 0 for 2 on that stretch for Thomas. Tradeon Hollins at the point. A lot of red and blue on the floor right now. Trey McKinney-Jones.
Look at the elevation on that jumper.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Man.
Royce Perrin accelerates, ran into the 6'10" tree. AKA Anthony Kent ran out of real estate, but gets himself to the line.
That's one of those where if you're Anthony Kent, just being 6'10" and getting tall and long and jumping up straight up and down is enough. And you got Royce Perrin a little bit out of control, tough finish. Make him score it over the top. You no need to foul.
So finally a made free throw there for the region. And a lot of these guys are from Chicago and Northwest Indiana, specifically the south side of Chicago. Perrin went to Lincoln Park High, which is on the north side, but he played college basketball at Chicago State. He was there from 2003 to 2007. He guards Tradeon Hollins, the Fort Wayne in possession.
That is textbook on-the-ball defense. Really pressuring Tradeon Hollins right there.
Julian Mavunga gets Saffold to leave his feet, but then loses it out of bounds. It stays with Fort Wayne. It's really starting to take stock of the size for Fort Wayne between Anthony Kent and now Anthony Walker, the 6'9" power forward, number 44 on the floor in red. McKinney-Jones got that one to rattle in.
Just a strong take to the right hand, uses the glass. So impressed the way he gets momentum going downhill. And when he does with his athleticism, it's hard to stop.
Mike McClusack, the former Western Illinois product, who's on the roster to hit threes, missed badly on his first attempt of the game.
We talked about Trey McKinney-Jones. Nice ball screen, get that head of steam going. Right hand finish. As a big, you have to be able to go over and help out. No help there. Trey McKinney-Jones gets an easy layup.
And DeAndre Thomas keeps getting himself into the paint and to the foul line.
He's a force, and he does understand angles and how to play. He's going to get himself to the line, but he has to convert.
The Chicago Sun-Times named DeAndre Thomas its player of the year in 2005-2006. He's not just a big body, as you said. He knows how to handle himself.
He's a highly recruited guy. He ended up playing in Indiana, ended up transferring back to Robert Morris University in Chicago, but he has a lot of talent, a lot of ability, and he can put that ball in the hole, especially from the block.
Hit his free throws that time around. Already 6 free throw attempts for DeAndre Thomas tonight. And he's 4 for 6. There's a turnover as the region tries to get back in this game. Stephon Hanna leaves it for Jeremy Saffold, off the glass and in.
And Jeremy Saffold doing a nice job with body control. Nice jump stop, goes straight up and down and scores the ball over the Fort Wayne defender. Stephon Hanna is a great defender. I mean, the anticipation right there. There's a reason he's been the 2-time G League Defensive Player of the Year.
Leslie from long range. Another rebound for Fort Wayne. One more time, it's recycled to Leslie. Off the front of the rim again, and then a technical foul has just been assessed to Malcolm Griffin of the region. He's on the bench right now.
That's tough. You get a stop, you get bailed out. 2 wide open looks for Travis Leslie. And Malcolm Griffin on the bench, chirping at the officials, and clearly they'd had enough.
So free throws for Trey McKinney-Jones. He rattles the first one in.
That's tough for the region. You've chipped back and you see him. He's standing right behind the official. And he'd had enough. Man, you get a stop. You're going in transition. That's a tough place to get a tech. You cannot do that.
And especially given the importance that Malcolm Griffin brings to the region's roster. Again, a 5-year TBT veteran, only one of a handful of players with that much TBT experience. Trey McKinney-Jones, tough move, tough finish.
But you love that he didn't settle. He really had an opportunity to take a pull-up 3 right there and just went right to the rim. Saw the smaller Royce Perrin on defense and just got himself an easy layup.
DeAndre Thomas somehow fumbled that one to himself, and yes, he traveled.
Trey McKinney-Jones, we've called his name multiple times tonight. Doing a nice job assessing the defense, seeing the smaller defender. Let's go right to that rim. That is good basketball.
10-point cushion for Fort Wayne as the region looks out of sorts in the first quarter.
Offensively, not much flow. Fort Wayne. But right, that's going to be a good way to change things. You can get your defense going. That defense, that's a heck of a finish there by Royce Perrin. But defense leading to offense is going to be important right now for the region.
That ball was fluent in English. And Perrin has provided a spark. You like that one?
I did like that. That was nice.
Perrin has provided a spark for the region off the bench.
Nice hands there by William Walker. And Royce Perrin sees the defender. And like you said, fluent in English. Puts that thing high off the glass.
And again, Perrin at 5'10", that almost has to be a part of your game to compete at this level.
Just an ability to hang in the air. Finish over longer defenders. That was a heck of a finish by Royce Perrin.
But more free buckets for the 6-seed Fort Wayne. Jalon Hornbeek is at the line. 6'3" shooting guard from Long Beach, California. And another member of the Fort Wayne Mad Ants G League roster. The Mad Ants finished second in the Eastern Conference in the G League this year. Hoping to finish first at TBT 2018. Divvy up that $2 million prize. Walker, well short. Mavunga's got the rebound. Right down Main Street, left his feet. Found Hornbeek, was quickly tied up. McKinney-Jones. didn't quite get the friendly roll. Now again, as you saw that high bounce off the rim, that was a free ball, a live ball, because we're playing that aspect of the game according to FIBA rules.
And if you're watching a European basketball game, you'd see offensive players flying in there to tip it in. But as American players, it is hard, especially when you're not used to that rule. You are so programmed to when that ball's hanging on the rim, I cannot touch it till it comes off. But under the FIBA European rule, you can go up there and tip dunk that thing.
Royce Perrin back at the line. He's 32 years old. The region lost to Scarlet and Gray last season, 78-63. That was the TBT debut for Jared Sullinger, who we saw on this very floor earlier today. The Scarlet and Gray is hosting this regional in Columbus. Malcolm Griffin might think the refs have his number. Picks up another foul there.
He made the mistake of reaching in on a very good ball handler right there. You just have to be solid, especially knowing your team has 5 fouls. That's a you reach, I teach type moment there, and Trey McKinney-Jones blows right by him. Have to understand you're playing against other guys that are very good basketball players. Just be solid, make them score over the top of you, make them run offense.
Here comes Stephen Hicks back into the game for Fort Wayne. He and Trey McKinney-Jones have really made Fort Wayne's team tick in the early going so far. There is just a polish to Trey McKinney-Jones's game.
Very mature feel. Very good player. There's a reason that he's on a 2-way contract with the Boston Celtics.
And the region continues to struggle from the floor. They are just 3 for 16 to open the game and 0 for 7 from long range. Final 18 seconds of the first quarter. Fort Wayne has certainly not run away with this one, but they enjoy a 10-point lead and have final possession. McKinney-Jones from mid-range turns the net inside out.
His pull-up is beautiful. That is great elevation. Trey McKinney-Jones has had a great first quarter.
Perrin did not have an extra pass to make, but he made it, and the region could not get the shot off in time, so we've reached the end of the first quarter. Fort Wayne looking like they're firing on all cylinders, or at least more than the region in the early going. We'll have the second quarter from Columbus coming up next as Fort Wayne looks to pad its 12-point.
Whatever your mountain is, conquer it with the new 2019 Sorrento with available fully active all-wheel drive.
Is this AT&T Innovations?
Yeah, wow. This must be for one of our new unlimited wireless plans. Comes with a ton of entertainment options.
Great. Can you sign for this?
Yeah.
Hey, what's in that one? That's a shark.
New and only with AT&T, you can get unlimited data, 30+ channels of live TV, and your choice of things like HBO or Amazon Music. More for your thing. That's our thing. Visit att.com.
Well, there have been plenty of upsets at TBT 2018 so far, but the Fort Wayne champs certainly do not anticipate adding their name to the list of upset teams. They lead the 11 seed, the region 26-14, and are just playing with a fluidity that the region has not found yet.
Man, I just think that they look like the more, actually just a team that has played together. They look much more comfortable with each other. Their offense has flowed. They've really done a nice job here throughout the first quarter.
Stefan Hanna works across the timeline for the region in the blue jerseys, and Fort Wayne is in the red. You might have seen the Puma logo on the jerseys, not just in this game, but tournament-wide. Puma Basketball is an official sponsor for this year's edition of the tournament. Great rebound, nearly went to the region, and they do hang on. Hanna pops from long range and rattles it in.
And he needs to be a big part of their offense here in the second quarter going forward. Stefan Hanna, a guy that's proven it at the pro and college level, steps into that three and calmly stops the bleeding here.
Travis Leslie drew contact and got that one to fall through.
Well, that's what he's been known for throughout his whole career. He is an athlete, and when he gets to the rim, he is incredibly tough to defend. with that length and athleticism.
Malcolm Griffin, much maligned in the first quarter. He received a technical foul from the bench, but he tries to put that behind him with a big three-pointer. Mavunga lobs it across the court. Here's Stephen Hicks in the lane. That's an offensive foul. Might have been Griffin that drew the charge.
We've seen Steph Hicks attack all night. I believe that was Jeremy Saffold drawing the charge, sacrificing the body. And the region retains possession here.
It was a 12-point game going into the second quarter. There's a costly near turnover by Hanna, who gathers his own miss and reverses the fortune of that possession very quickly.
Living dangerously here as Stefan Hanna almost turns it over, turns around, gets the ball back, turns and fires, and all of a sudden the region has some energy here.
It's like they drank MJ's secret stuff or something like that.
During the first quarter break. That is good living right there. Almost turn it over. Pick that ball up, rise fire, cash out from three.
Holland saves it at the free throw line. A misjudged pass. Here comes the region again. Jeremy Saffold on Hicks. Euro step, too strong. Hicks surveys his options, leaves it for Hollins, fires away. Hanna's got a couple of triples. He wants a third in this quarter. That one was altered by Tradeon Hollins.
That was a heat check. Stefan Hanna making back-to-back threes. Dribbled into that one, took a bad shot.
What was your personal heat check number if you had hit 2 in a row?
No, you make two like that. I'm cool with a heat check. Right. He's got it going a little bit. I can ride with that. He's really giving them life here in the second quarter.
And they needed it.
Yeah, and the region trying to turn this thing up. A little 2-2-1 press.
That one rattles in for Fort Wayne's Corey Henderson Jr., who starred at Tulsa up until this last season.
Well, you just love that Fort Wayne was aggressive with the press, went right at it, got a good shot, and Corey Henderson rose up. But the region's just playing harder right now than they did in the first quarter. That's been the biggest thing to me. A little bit flat in the first quarter. They've come back out here, responded well, and they find themselves right back in this game.
Well, we mentioned earlier how Boeheim's Army, the 1 seed in the Northeast region, was being tested. And they have opened up a 20-point lead now on South Jamaica Kings in that 1-16 matchup. And the other region going on this weekend, the Northeast region up at LIU Brooklyn. There's an alley-oop to Hicks. And you can tack on a foul, too.
Julian Mavunga had a mismatch at the top of the key. In the region, all eyes focused on Mavunga. You fall asleep, especially with Steph Hicks. He's going to back cut you right to the rim. Great cut, great feed. Man, he is athletic. Plays above the rim.
And he's more than just a high flyer, too. We've seen him as a capable shooter as well. So there is some depth to this Fort Wayne team, as we've seen in the first half. They continue to keep the region down by nearly double figures. That was a tough roll right there to make it a 9-point game.
Stefan Hanna is a player, and he has shown that tonight on both ends of the floor. That was a nice finish.
Open lane for Hollins. He tried to make the extra pass. It was gobbled up by the region. Here's Perrin to the cup. He goes to the line instead. That foul goes on Steph Hicks, his first. The region, if you look at their tournament history, they've been victimized by a standout performance on the other team. We mentioned the loss to Scarlet and Gray last year. Jared Sullinger had a double-double. They lost to a purple and black Kansas State alumni team in 2016 by 3 points. And Jacob Pullen really devastated the region's hopes in that game.
I play with Jacob Pullen in Russia, and he can score. And that's what he does. He is Not to be mean to Jacob, he's an average defender, but man, you give him the basketball, he's going to go out there, he can put points up in a hurry. Actually found himself on a two-way deal this year for the Philadelphia 76ers for part of the season.
Corey Henderson Jr. at the free throw line. That one's off the mark. Henderson is a 3-year TBT veteran. 6'4" shooting guard, only 22 years old. Malcolm Griffin drives by Hicks, got a little forearm in there, got his own miss for a moment, but now Fort Wayne tries to trigger the break. Leslie to Henderson on the wing. That was sweet.
Corey Henderson, I thought maybe you should run to the rim, get yourself a layup, but if you're going to knock it down, why not get 3 points? Fort Wayne continues to thrive in transition. The region just not doing a good job of getting back.
Perrin in the corner.
He's had a nice second quarter. He's been active. Right there showing off the range for the region.
Hicks launches. There are some impressive shooters on this Fort Wayne team.
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything from him. You talked about his ability to make shots from the perimeter. We've seen the athleticism. He's been such a big part of the Fort Wayne offense tonight, just sizing his defender up, going and making a play.
Now some traffic in the lane. DeAndre Thomas couldn't get the roll.
And Anthony Kent doing a nice job of holding his ground, making DeAndre Thomas score over the top of you.
There's a foul. Both teams, Robbie, are only 4 for 12 from three-point range. It feels like we've seen much better shooting than just 33%.
Certainly does. And I just get the feeling right now that Fort Wayne is on the same page, and the region still trying to put some things together and figure some stuff out.
Fort Wayne has been running its offense through Trey McKinney-Jones and Steph Hicks, the guy at the line who now has 15 points. And we still have a good chunk of time before the half. A look at the region's bench. Their general manager, Corey Moore, and head coach Anthony Patton. Corey Moore, the GM, said, "We want to be known to the world beyond our region." Some impressive talent assembled in the Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland area, trying to make an impact at TBT 2018. But first things first, they need to get out of the region.
When you look at the talent that's come out of Northwest Indiana, and it goes, there's some elite players. You look at Glenn Robinson, look at Etwan Moore, Bryce Drew, a lot of guys that have made their mark not only in college basketball, but also on the NBA.
Royce Perrin has carried the day for the region so far. He's got 14 first half points and is 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Kent sets the screen. McKinney-Jones off it, rattles that one in.
But as a defender, you can't get screened and you can't go under the screen. You give him any type of daylight, he's a good enough shooter where he's going to knock it down. It's not very good defense there by the region.
And then a foul called on Tradeon Hollins.
Well, right now, both teams heating up. See the nice pass there from Travis Leslie. And also right back at you, Royce Perrin. 3-pointers all the way around right now for both teams.
The Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event. This summer is going to be epic. Get the Tucson with up to $3,000 cash back or 0.9% APR for 60 months, plus $500 cash with no payments for 90 days. Offers end soon.
Just gotta make it what you want.
Well, the region has settled in a little bit more in the second quarter after a rocky beginning, but Fort Wayne has not taken its foot off the gas. 46-33 in the 6-11 matchup in the Midwest region first round from the Capitol Center in Columbus, Ohio. There are a lot of G League players on the roster for Fort Wayne in particular, and they've looked just a little bit more polished than the region has at times so far in the first half.
You just have to think the cohesiveness has certainly paid off. These guys have played multiple seasons together. That hasn't allowed them to stop Royce Perrin from doing whatever he wants here in the second quarter. He's gotten to the rim. He's made threes. He has really kept the region afloat when it's been hard for them to score a lot of times in the half court. There he is, just getting by the defender, taking contact, keeps his head to the rim. Nice finish. Chance for a three-point play right here.
And he got the bounce. A little bit of full court press now for the region, but they ease up. Hollins on Perrin now. Leaves it for Trey McKinney-Jones, who's in double figures tonight.
Stephon Hanna's hands. He has always got his hands in the right position. Knocking balls loose. He's a great defender.
DeAndre Thomas, the big man, dances his way into the lane, but didn't have the soft touch. But he finds the guard right to Saffold. How about the ball movement at close range for the region, and it leads to a deuce.
Oh, he double dribbled. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I told you, you should consider a career as a referee.
No, I have the utmost respect for these guys. I would never go out there and do their job. It's tough. But here's DeAndre Thomas showing off the passing. Royce Perrin. Nice, beautiful touch pass. And just like that again, the region has had some runs tonight that's kept them in this game. Fort Wayne has probably been better overall, but the region putting some solid stretches of play together. Just got to be a little more consistent.
Hanna on McKinney-Jones, slings it to Perrin. Into the corner, Malcolm Griffin.
That is such a quality look. And you got to credit Royce Perrin with making those two dribbles, finding the shooter wide open, drawing a defender, and making the right play.
In a flash, it's a 5-point game. Hicks had it stripped by Griffin, tried to bat it out to McKinney-Jones, but it's the region ball.
Active hands has been the story of the last minute and a half or so. These region defenders getting their hands on basketballs and turning over this Fort Wayne Champs team.
Perrin with the whips. Griffin again in the corner, nearly
Tough
got
shot.
that one in.
When you don't catch that ball right off the pass and you still shoot it, it is such a tough shot. In and out there for Malcolm Griffin.
Mavunga off the mark. Saffold had it and gathers it. The region does not have numbers. DeAndre Thomas catches up.
Smart play there by Jeremy Saffold to pull that thing out. Let's run some offense and get a good look.
And they get a foul in the backcourt. That goes against Anthony Kent.
And now you're going to the line. Really smart play by Jeremy Saffold. Didn't force the issue. Get it to your point guard. He draws the foul. Two easy ones. Now you can find yourself to make it a one-possession game in a half that you really haven't played that well.
Stephon Hicks. Stephon Hanna, beg your pardon. Now he played against you in college. Hanna went to Missouri.
Part of those Missouri teams that were so tough. Leo Lyons, Damari Carroll, Stephon Hanna forming a nice trio there. Really a good Missouri team. We went in there and played them on their home floor and took a loss. Right there, man, he can heat you up.
Active hands, as you said, but Fort Wayne keeps it alive, and Trey McKinney-Jones makes the region pay.
Well, he's shown the range, and that three-pointer after you've shot NBA threes all season, you go back to this European line, it feels like you're shooting a layup, and he looks like he's shooting a layup right now.
Mavunga, baseline, bodied by DeAndre Thomas.
And that's what Julian Mavunga has to do. If DeAndre Thomas is going to guard him, when he catches the ball, it's got to be a shot fake or it's got to be a rip and go. Have to think DeAndre Thomas cannot guard Julian Mavunga, and we see DeAndre Thomas take a seat. Mike McCluzak's going to take a shot at him.
Tradeon Hollins into the corner. Travis Leslie skims that one off the rim.
Lucky they went zone and had no idea the shooter is in the corner.
Perrin pulls up.
Where's Perrin's balling? I mean,
he's balling.
He is out here hooping. He's got 17 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Actually 20 points, excuse me, had not updated yet.
20 ball for Royce Perrin in the final minute of the second quarter, but Stephen Hicks nearly had the answer. He's had a great first half too. But how about this? The region at one point trailed by as many as 13, and they can tie it up with a bucket here going into the locker room at halftime. Hannah does just that.
Wow, what a comeback by the region, fueled by Stephon Hanna and Royce Parent. You have to get into him. You can't let him be comfortable, and that is comfortable for Stephon Hanna. Have to take him out of his comfort zone, and if you're not going to be up in him, he is so good at operating, stepping back and shooting that long-range three.
49-49, and again, even though these are only 4 9-minute quarters, the game moves along pretty well. But how about the region coming back here? We listen into their huddle.
Hey, listen, guys, we have to drop. We got to play home. We got to play out of bounds. Defense better, bro. Hey, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
A very emotional huddle there for the region.
It certainly was. That was interesting. You really see Malcolm Griffin trying to take charge there, preaching that they need to really defend. I think they've done a good job of defending here in the last couple of minutes. They've had hands on basketballs. They've turned over Fort Wayne. And finally, offensively in the half court, they look comfortable. And that helps when you're making shots. But Royce Parent and Stephon Hanna have done a great job of leading this team back.
A high-scoring first half as well. Both teams knocking on the door of 50 with 8 seconds left. Hollins all the way to the rack, and he got the roll. 2 seconds left. Hanna, 3/4 court.
Oh, I thought it was good.
That was very close. And a spirited performance for the region after falling down by a baker's dozen. They at one point tie the game. Fort Wayne has the final say, 51-49. Going into the locker room at half. We've seen teams make it rain from 3. The region is hitting 44% of their shots from long range going into halftime.
Start the day with the chicken you love. Get the feeling of Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
There has seriously never been a better time to try our Sprint network.
Because now we have our new Unlimited Plus plan. It has Hulu and all the TV and movies you love, Tidal music streaming, 15 gigabytes mobile hotspot in full HD.
We need to shout this deal from the rooftops.
Yeah. Sprint's new Unlimited Plus plan, best deal ever.
And it's all on the network, built for unlimited.
I think they heard me. Switch to Sprint's Unlimited Plus plan for just $42 per line. But hurry, for a limited time, it's now $22 per line when you bring or buy your phones.
A very entertaining first half in the 6-11 matchup here in Columbus, the Midwest Regional for TBT. First round sees the region and the Fort Wayne champs going at it. And after Fort Wayne raced out to a huge lead in the first half, the region battled back. And look at this. We have a 2-point game going into the locker room at halftime. He's Robbie Hummel. I'm Chris Fosters. And I don't know if we expected the game to be this close given the lead that Fort Wayne had in the first half.
Well, the way they built it out was so impressive, and it really didn't look like the region was going to be able to battle back. Credit Royce Parent, credit Stephon Hanna. Both those guys really made plays throughout the game.
All right, so in addition to this game, there's only one more game left in the first round of the Midwest Regional. Here's the bracket as it stands right now in the top half of the Midwest region. Scarlet and Gray, that's an Ohio State alumni team going up against a Texas Tech alumni team. That's going to be a great game.
Should be a great game. I thought Scarlet and Gray played phenomenally today. They have such a talented, cohesive unit. Credit the Matadors there, though. They really took care of Bearcat Jam. Should be a very good game tomorrow morning.
That Big X team also has a lot of sympathizers in the crowd here in Columbus because they're composed of Big Ten former players, even some additional Ohio State Buckeyes that are not on the Scarlet and Gray roster. And again, the matchup that we have on our hands right now between Fort Wayne and the region is going to help determine the bottom half of the bracket. We already know one of the matchups. It's Team Fredette versus the Jackson, Tennessee Underdogs. And then the winner of this 6-11 matchup gets the winner of the game still to come tonight, the Hilton Magic Legends and Illinois BC.
Well, I just think if Team Fredette does not come to play tomorrow, and they looked a little bit rusty, you could say they have not practiced together coming out of their game this morning against Peoria All-Stars. If they're not ready to play, Jackson, Tennessee is a team that's played a lot of basketball together, and they took care of business against a very good Zoo Crew team. So I anticipate that to be a great game. Should be a great matchup. Jimmer Fredette, obviously the story for Team Fredette, but interesting to hear him say, I felt rusty. He had 26 points. It's like, you know, just a guy that can really score the ball. So should be a great one. Looking forward to that matchup.
And we're also looking forward to the second half of this game. It's Fort Wayne 51 and the Region 49. The third quarter is not that far away.
It's time to move to Total Wireless. It's $35 a month. Purchase a new line or bring your number. And now, for a limited time, you'll get a month's worth of free data. That's 5 gigs of data that never expires for each new line. Total Wireless. Total confidence.
It's a brand given life by craftsmen, not machines. With seductive Italian style built for experiences, not showrooms. The Alfa Romeo Giulia, Motor Trend's 2018 Car of the Year. And introducing Stelvio and 4C Alfa Romeo, the perfect balance of engineering and emotion.
Ready to start the second half, the third quarter between the Fort Wayne Champs and the Region in the 6-11 matchup in the Midwest region. Starting to get to be late night basketball here in Columbus, Ohio. Thanks for hanging out with us on ESPN3. The Region was down a bundle, Robbie, in the first half, but they came back.
Well, they were led by Stefan Hanna and Royce Parent. Those two combined for 33 points. And here you see Stefan Hanna with the nifty spin move, able to lay that thing up on the glass. Wasn't just him, though. Parent able to get in on the action, showing off the body control, also getting it done from 3. These two guys really carrying the load offensively for the Region. Malcolm Griffin also had 8 points. But nice, you mentioned it, the comeback was really impressive for this group. They could have laid down, did not do that. On the flip side of things, it has been Trey McKinney-Jones and Steph Hicks as the main attraction. They combined for 32 points themselves. You see the athleticism from Hicks. He also able to step out, knock down the 3 ball. And Trey McKinney-Jones getting to the rim, doing a little bit of everything, showing off why the Boston Celtics gave him that 2-way contract. Really, both players impressive in the first half.
An awfully impressive first half box score as well. You mentioned the 20 points for Royce Parent, Trey McKinney-Jones, and Steph Hicks with 16 points apiece. And the three-pointers really started to fall for both teams as the second quarter wore on in particular.
You could tell both teams really settled into rhythms offensively, and it helped for the Region that you saw Royce Parent, Stefan Hanna get going. Look at the bench points. The Region 28-9 over Fort Wayne. Keep an eye on that going forward as the advantage for the Region, but should be a great half of basketball coming up.
Royce Parent wasn't in the starting lineup for the Region. He goes off for 20 points. If you're Fort Wayne, do you have to make an adjustment for him?
Well, and you just have to know where he's at on the floor. He's gotten too many open looks, but he's also been able to really create things for himself. He's got things going to the rim. Maybe the shortest guy on the floor a lot of the time for this Region team, but he's been very active. And if you're Fort Wayne, you just got to recognize where you're at.
It'll be interesting to see how the Region comes out in the third quarter. They seem to be the more volatile team, emotionally more prone to ebbs and flows.
Absolutely.
Whereas Fort Wayne has been much more steady.
Well, yeah, and they're led by Trey McKinney-Jones and Tradeon Hollins, who have been steady. But you look at just the way that the Region was able to come back, you're right, it was an emotionally charged comeback. Can they really sustain that kind of effort? We're going to find out here in the next 18 minutes of play.
2-point game as we start the third quarter. The Region with the basketball in the blue, the Fort Wayne Champs in the red. Malcolm Griffin with the pump, the drive, and the deuce.
Beautiful finish. Goes up with the right, switches to the left. And he's going to be a guy. He needs to be the third option, third scorer for this Region team, along with Royce Parent, Stefan Hanna.
Julian Mavunga saw so much real estate, he didn't know what to do with it.
Julian should have been making fun of me coming out of the timeout, messing with my hands. Wouldn't have traveled maybe, but there we go. You see Malcolm Griffin getting to the rim. Nice finish.
You didn't get in his ear about that after the game?
I have to mention that to him, yeah. Got to focus on the game. Can't be making fun of me over here announcing.
William Walker draws the foul, and it goes on Trey McKinney-Jones. That was a mismatch.
William Walker played at Michigan City High School. Went on to Bethel College. He was a first team, actually a two-time first team NAIA All-American. Actually played in the same conference I did. Actually in the region. He played at Michigan City. I was at Valpo, and just a stud. I mean, just an athletic stud. Had a nice pro career as well.
Lob to Broughton, and the kick back to Griffin.
Bo Patton talked about him. He said he's going to be so important. He scored the ball so well leading up into this game, and coming out of the second half, he is looking the part.
Some tangled feet underneath, and a foul goes against the region. Travion Hollins to the free throw line. Hollins was in a disputed incident when he was a JUCO player at Chipola down in Florida. He was approached by a man while he was in a car, and the man had a gun and fired 9 times into his vehicle. Travion was not hit, but he was dismissed from his JUCO team amid shady circumstances surrounding the incident, but he got a second chance, eventually found his way to Nebraska, Omaha, and now is on the cusp of the NBA, a fine G League player for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants.
The 2016 Summit League Player of the Year, was very good at Nebraska, Omaha, and you're right, he is a guy that could find himself playing in the NBA. There's no question about that.
William Walker finds himself at the free throw line. And the region, look at this, has a lead in the early stages of the third quarter. Down by as many as 13 in the game.
Look at that burst.
What a cut by Leslie, who was on the receiving end of that pass, and he gets the second try.
The speed by Travion Hollins, and then the athleticism of Travis Leslie. That's a great combination. Both those guys making plays right there for Fort Wayne.
Now Fort Wayne with the chance to go on a mini run here. Offensive foul.
We've seen it all day, Chris. It is so important to jump stop. I mean, it's such a simple concept, but when you're out of control, going towards the rim, all you got to do is just jump stop right there. Instead, you plow the guy over, and we're going the other way.
He was set up, feet were square. That was about as textbook of a call as we've seen at TBT today. Griffin poked out a play, and it stays with the region.
Really nice hustle there by the region. Retains possession. Have to credit Robert Broughton with that play.
So now a foul on the region, and we bring it on back. The winner of this game, the 6-11 matchup, meets the winner of the game still to come, the 4-13 matchup between the Hilton Magic Legends, the 4 seed and Iowa State alumni team, and the 13 seed in the Midwest region, Illinois BC, another team from Illinois.
I'm looking forward to seeing who the Hilton Magic Legends have. And that roster is built to compete, but it all depends on who shows up. We're going to find out here within the hour.
William Walker. McKinney Jones tried to box out Marcus Van. He could not, but then Van loses his footing, turns it right back to McKinney Jones. What a pass to Mavunga. In the lane, Hicks around Walker. Tough shot, put back around and out, and Mavunga again just can't get that one through.
How about that hustle by both teams? Laying it all on the line right here at the TBT.
What a sequence there. Griffin protects the ball and unveils it to the rim.
But just a nice job of keeping that ball away from the defender. He kept it away to the last second, flipped it up there, used some English, and finished high off the glass.
So the region has picked up where it left off. A strong end to the second quarter, and they have a 3-point lead here in the third as Hicks hits the deck.
Right now the region playing with such great effort, and here you see it. It's going to be Marcus Van laying it all out there, saves that basketball. And you get it to your score. Malcolm Griffin has been phenomenal in the second half, scoring the ball. And he's done a little bit of everything. He's done it from three. He's gotten to the rim. Big part of this region team. A little bit of a tough first half with the technical foul, but we've seen some signs of life from him.
The region is still shooting under 40% in the game. Hicks gets the second one through. Oh, Perrin nearly lost it out of bounds. Stays with it. Now is harassed by Hollins. Gets through, hits the deck. That's a foul. Fort Wayne was hitting its shots in the first half. Feels like they just haven't been in the rhythm that they had in the first half. Maybe Hollins can change that, but
you know, they scored 26 points in the first quarter, still had 25 in the second. It was the defensive end of the floor. You look at the region, just 14 points. Fort Wayne had locked them down. Second quarter, they go for 35.
35 points in 9 minutes.
That is not going to win you many games. Have to get back to doing it on the defensive end of the floor. So far, they've given up 9 points here in the third quarter. Certainly better, but got to get some stops.
9 points per minute. The region was probably averaging around a point per possession in that second quarter. McKinney Jones missed it. Walker's got it for the region.
They got numbers if they go with this.
Perrin can certainly push the tempo. The big man Thomas out to Griffin. He's been hot in the third quarter. Not that time. Malcolm Griffin with a tap on the ref's backside. I mean, the guy already got a technical foul. Better be careful.
He is an emotional player. There is no doubt about that. And it is an emotional game, but you have to also keep that under control. Cannot lose your mind on the floor. Have to make intelligent plays.
When you're up or when you're down.
Oh, what a block.
Saffold denies Stephen Hicks, but Leslie, no touch at the rim. Second time he's got it down.
He's such a quick second leaper. Right? He can get off the floor and miss shots and tap it, almost play patty cake with it at the rim. And he's showing that off right there.
And Leslie, a former Georgia Bulldog. Saw Thad Matta in the stands earlier today to root on his former Ohio State alumni team. And he'd been linked to the Georgia job at one point. Hicks from deep. Yes.
Steph Hicks is a good player, man. I had not seen him play leading up to this, but I am impressed. He has made shots from the perimeter. He's made athletic plays. He is the total package. You get a guy like that running the floor. There you go. Find him in the corner, find the shooter, make a good pass, rise and fire, let it go. It's a good look.
It's time to move to Total Wireless. It's $35 a month. Purchase a new line or bring your number, and now for a limited time you'll get a month's worth of free data. That's 5 gigs of data that never expires for each new line. Total Wireless, total confidence.
The all-new Ram 1500, delivering 2,300 pounds of max payload and 12,750 pounds of towing. It's the most capable Ram 1500 ever, and why more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
In TBT, fans of the winning team get a 10% share of the winning team's $2 million prize. Maybe it would help that lonely guy out. So if you think you know who's going to win TBT this year, go to thetournament.com, register as a fan. Support the team you think is going to win and start earning points. The current top fan for the region is Brenda R., while the top fan for the Fort Wayne champs is Jerica R. If their team goes on to win TBT this year, they would win $40,000. And there's the bracket. Fort Wayne and the region hope to remove their plaque and advance it to the second round. It's been a resurgent game for the region. They scored just 14 points in the first quarter. Even halfway through the second quarter, they were down by as many as 13 points, but have carried their strong end to the first half over into the third quarter. And it's a 61-58 lead for Fort Wayne.
We talked about this matchup of Julian Mavunga and DeAndre Thomas for the Fort Wayne side, but if you're DeAndre Thomas, you're going to make Julian Mavunga guard you too, and right there, he gets a cross screen, comes right through it. Unfortunately for Julian, that is a wide load coming through, and he just ends up fouling him.
DeAndre Thomas is 0 for 5 from the floor tonight, but he has gotten to the line a decent amount. He's now 4 for 7 from the line, and now 5 for 8. 2-point game. Wide open shot off the back iron. Mavunga fumbled it away. Here comes Hannah. Pull up. And a whistle.
Jeremy Saffold's done some really nice things for the region tonight, just in terms of effort. You know, he has really kept balls alive right there again on the offensive glass, drawn a foul. Going to go to the line, but multiple times tonight we've called his name where he's done positive things away from the basketball.
And Saffold is a Division II player. He went to the University of Wisconsin Parkside for 4 years, from 2009 to 2013. That's a GLIAC conference school now. They're switched over from the GLVC. A couple of good Division II conferences in the region as well. All knotted at 61. Here comes Fort Wayne. Tradeon Hollins double teamed. Off to Mavunga with 11 to shoot. The whistle sounds and a foul on DeAndre Thomas of the region. That's his third.
You just love that Julian Mavunga did not settle right there. He was able to really drive right by DeAndre Thomas.
He sure did. And Mavunga has not hit his shots tonight, but has certainly made an impact in other ways. 4 points, 2 rebounds, an assist. Got to get it done at the free throw line, though. Here's Malcolm Griffin back into the game. He's been a spark for the region in more ways than one. Remember, he got a technical foul in the first quarter, but has still turned in a pretty good game on the floor. 15 points on 6 of 12 shooting.
And Bo Patton's going to need him. They need his scoring, and they need that, really that emotional player to be in the right position right here, because he is so important to this team.
Hannah. That was James Harden right there.
Oh my goodness, that setback. Stopped on a dime.
Hicks to Hollins, pumps, lost it. Perrin gobbles it up and then is fouled as he tried to thread it right back to Stefan Hannah.
Quick hands, the story for these region guards. They have had great hands all night. Right there, you see Tradeon Hollins. He thinks he's in there. Jeremy Saffold gets a hand on the basketball, and again, defense leading to the free throw line. The region has done such a good job tonight of doing just that, and here we are again. It would have been a theme for them since the first quarter.
Royce Perrin is only 5'10". And like Stefan Hannah, I mean, these guys don't make you quake in your boots when they get off the bus, but they've just
they're so quick. They've been so effective. They're active. They play hard. And there's those active hands right there again. Royce Perrin almost had the steal.
Trey McKinney-Jones, high shot off the window, and he goes to the line.
He has had a quiet third quarter, but right there, he's doing a nice job in transition, taking some contact. Nice pass there by Jalon Hornbeek. High off the glass right there, showing off the touch. Pretty finger roll.
We talked about how Trey McKinney-Jones just signed a 2-way contract with the Boston Celtics. He's directing the officiating crew right now to the wet spot he wants off the floor before he shoots his free throw. But in the Indiana Pacers organization last year, he did receive a 10-day contract from the Pacers, and those in the organization really said it was because of his personal conduct. He's a versatile guy, a reliable guy, and a guy of high character. And so his 10-day contract was seen as almost a reward of sorts, just a pat on the back for being a great dude.
Well, in the NBA, that's so much of it. If you're going to be the 13th, 14th, 15th guy, being a good teammate, being a responsible person, that's a big part of it. They need to be able to depend on you. If you sit on the bench, for 1 or 2 months, and then all of a sudden there's injuries, somebody gets ejected, whatever, you have to be counted on. I can go in and I can perform. And with what you just said about him, that's exactly what he is. So when you do that, you put yourself in a good position to have some success and get yourself a chance at the league.
Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. This game has been very back and forth since the late stages of the second quarter. It's carried through after halftime. Trey McKinney-Jones has reawakened.
That's a gamble that you just cannot take if you're the region. You got Julian Mavunga, who's a power forward, dribbling the basketball. You run at him. I know you're going for steals. You've done it all night. But, man, you're leaving a very good shooter at a European three-point line.
But the region's got plenty of good shooters, too. That was Jeremy Saffold, who's now got 9 points. There are 3 20-point scorers on the floor. Stefan Hanna with the steal.
Good effort.
He didn't pump the brakes. Jalon Hornbeek with a big takeaway underneath to Kent. What a block by Hanna.
Wow. What a block by Stefan Hanna. Active guards, active hands. It's the story of the whole game.
It's like he's in 2 places at once.
It really is. There's the Trey McKinney-Jones 3. Lose track of him, he's going to make you pay. But again, Jeremy Saffold, he walks right into a 3, right at the top of the key. All of a sudden, the pace of this game seems to have really picked up the intensity as we near the fourth quarter.
Hanna lost it. McKinney-Jones picks it up. Tough pass. Julian Mavunga's got it. Throws it away.
You leave your feet to pass, and more often than not, you're going to find yourself in some serious trouble. Mavunga getting a little bit out of control right there. Jumps up in the air and couldn't find anybody.
Well, the intensity has really picked up in the third quarter. And the Elam ending still to come in the fourth. Rebound to Mavunga. That's a foul on Royce Perrin. Couldn't quite close fast enough on the pass to Trey McKinney-Jones. McKinney-Jones is 5 for 5 at the line tonight. He's got 22. Steph Hicks has 20. Royce Perrin, who just committed the foul for the region, has got 22. .50 combined free throws in the game, Robbie. It doesn't feel like there have been that many.
The third quarter to me has seemed a little long, I guess you could say, but you're right. 50 is a huge number. But this has been a guards game. Those guards have really got themselves to the line.
And both teams have made their free throws as well. Fort Wayne is shooting 84% from the stripe. And the region is shooting 87%.
Marcus Van right there. Julian Mavunga pushing him in the back. He did a nice job going to the glass. And we're going to see 2 more free throws here.
Van has not scored tonight for the region, but he does have 6 boards. That was a one-handed free throw. Van bounced around. He went to Curry High School in Chicago, eventually transferred into Central Michigan for the final 2 years of his college career, 2007 to 2009. Described as a relentless rebounder, in fact, and that's how he's made his impact tonight for the region. Final minute of the third quarter, 1-point game on our hands. This one's been good since the second quarter in particular. Winner moves on to the second round of TBT. Tomorrow, in fact, right here in Columbus. Hornbeek left his feet, found Anthony Kent, but it was batted away. Hanna, coast to coast, he got tripped up, somehow dished it off to Saffold, who puts it home. And the Region Yo-Yos back in front by a point. Shot clock is on. Screen set. McKinney Jones cut off. Corey Henderson. 4 seconds left. Kent kept it alive for Fort Wayne, and it stays with the Fort Wayne champs. 2.1 seconds left.
What a sequence there for the Region defensively. Very solid in their help side rotations, and then a run out. Stefan Hanna calling his name again.
At the buzzer. It's the Region with a 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter. What surprised you about that third quarter?
I just think so back and forth. Both teams really throwing punch and counter punch. A lot of offense. Really some talented guards in this game. We've seen a lot of players get it going. So far, so good. The Region has their 1-point lead over the Fort Wayne champs.
It's time to move to Total Wireless. It's $35 a month. Purchase a new line or bring your number, and now for a limited time you'll get a month's worth of free data. That's 5 gigs of data that never expires for each new line. Total Wireless, total confidence.
It's a brand given life by craftsmen with seductive Italian styling. The Alfa Romeo Giulia, Stelvio, and 4C.
Well, this game has been fantastic since the Region battled back from a 13-point hole midway through the second quarter. They now own a 1-point lead over the 6th seed Fort Wayne champs going into the fourth quarter. And who knows, we could be in for the best Elam ending finish ever if this game is as close as when we get to the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter. At the next dead ball after that point, we stop the game clock. We set a target score, which is equivalent to the leading team score +7, and the first team to reach that target score wins. So keep your eye on the game clock when we get down to 4 minutes. We'll have a big development coming up in how this game ends. Hicks cleans up his own miss to get us started in the fourth.
Steph Hicks showing off that speed, blow by of the defender. And another guy that's got such a quick second jump. He just gets off the floor so fast.
Here's Stefan Hanna, who's had a great game for the Region. William Walker on Anthony Kent. That's a tough shot.
That's a settle right there. You got to get a better look than that with 9 on the shot clock.
And then Steph Hicks is fouled by Stefan Hanna at midcourt. And so again, with that Elam ending, when you set the target score, the leading team only has 7 points to go to win the game. But if it's a 1-point game going into the Elam ending, it would be really fascinating to watch an 8-7 run transpire to see who would come out in front. Only 5 on the shot clock, and Griffin has the loose board for the Region.
Just a tough possession. They were trying to get the ball into Anthony Kent, couldn't do it. Ended up having to settle for a really tough contested 3-point shot.
Malcolm Griffin hooks a pass to William Walker. Baseline game still not working. Here comes Hicks, perhaps with numbers. Hornbeek double teamed in the corner, and he lost it out of bounds, but it's still Fort Wayne ball.
As a ball handler in this game, you just have to be so secure with the basketball. The Region is a defensive unit. Quick hands. Gotten their hands on so many balls tonight. It's been such an active defensive unit.
Great defense by William Walker, but Hornbeek is left open, and he makes the Region pay.
I think it was Malcolm Griffin fell asleep, ball watching. You mentioned it, you hit it on the head, Chris. William Walker making a great defensive play, but you lose track of the shooter, and Jelana Hornbeek makes you pay.
And then a travel called on the Region, so Fort Wayne's got some momentum here early in the fourth quarter.
Let's take another look at this defensive possession. Anthony Kent corrals the rebound, and yep, it's Malcolm Griffin, just doesn't know where his man is. And at this stage in the game, that is a huge mistake Fort Wayne takes the lead back. They now lead by 4.
There's Griffin again on Hornbeak, who submarines a pass into Anthony Kent, and William Walker takes it away. He's made a beyond the box score impression. Royce Perrin, too strong off the glass. Fort Wayne ball. Fort Wayne runs. Hicks in command. Draws the foul.
You talk about making something out of nothing right there. Steph Hicks, 2 defenders back, and a nice Euro step goes right through both of them. Can't finish, but draws the contact. He has really been impressive tonight.
He's been impressive at TBT before when the Fort Wayne champs were bounced last year from the tournament. He had 23 points and 6 boards. And he also had 10 rebounds, in fact, in a tournament opening win for Fort Wayne last year. So he can get it done in various areas of the box score. Got the short hop. And Steph Hicks now with 24 points and 10 rebounds. 2 helpers as well. Griffin generates separation and hits.
Yes, he does. Really lowers that shoulder, gets contact, and just so comfortable stepping back. Really need him to score the ball, especially with Stefan Hanna on the bench. He and Royce Perrin, the 2 main offensive cogs here for the region.
Hornbeak, baseline drive, kick out, Henderson. Fort Wayne is hitting its shots. The region better be careful.
But also running great offense. That is dribble penetration, off dribble penetration, off dribble penetration. You get a good shot, you're in rhythm. Right now, Fort Wayne generating good looks.
3-on-1. Hicks accidentally leaves it for Hornbeak, and he's all alone to clean it up. And quickly, Robbie, I think that's probably the unspoken truth about good shot making is the good ball movement that ultimately leads to it.
No question. You see it. There's some dribble penetration. You get a great kick out, hit your shooter right in the shooting pocket. That is great offensive basketball. Then the leak out. Stefan Hicks, we'll call it a pass. We'll be generous. Finds his teammate for the easy bucket. Right now, the region have to think they're reeling. You got to have a counter punch right here. This game, 1:49 to the Elam ending. Got to trim that lead down so that 7-point game is more manageable.
Easier said than done, though, right?
It sounds easy. And when it's played right, it is an easy game. But the region's last 2 minutes of play, it has not been easy for them. They have struggled to get good looks, and not a surprise, Stefan Hanna back in this game. Have to think he, Royce Perrin, and Malcolm Griffin are going to be the guys that have to carry the load here.
Both these teams have shot the lights out, a very high-scoring game in one with 9-minute quarters. Saffold. They're not backing down.
No, they're not, and that is the counterpunch you were looking for. I love the pick and roll with Stefan Hanna, and then dribble penetration with Malcolm Griffin. He makes the very mature play, finding Jeremy Saffold wide open in the corner. Just good basketball, swing action right there, and you said it, Chris, when you find good shooters and you get them good looks, that's a key to success.
Trey McKinney-Jones and Steph Hicks have 48 of Fort Wayne's 82 points tonight. That's Hicks in the corner. And that's Trey McKinney-Jones. Short with the shot clock running low.
Rebound.
Wow, Steph Hicks.
Just a live wire athlete. He went up over everybody, making a huge play for his team.
Less than a minute to go until we are in Elam ending territory. Fort Wayne is enjoying its largest lead since before halftime. Perrin has to have it. Rebound to Hicks.
Generated a pretty good shot. That's one that you'll live with. He has been great from the perimeter all night. Get a good look, and just a little frustrating he doesn't knock it down.
McKinney-Jones. Blocking foul goes against the region.
We've seen all night when he goes to that right hand and gets downhill, he is deadly off of dribble penetration.
He's a perfect 7 for 7 at the foul line tonight. That one rattles in, and we're not putting the Fort Wayne champs into the second round yet by any means, but just forecasting ahead. It'll be interesting to see, because they've got prolific scoring in Trey McKinney-Jones and Steph Hicks. How does this team handle a team with size? A Scarlet and Gray with a Jared Sullinger, for instance, or even a Team Fredette with a guy like Brandon Davies clogging the middle. Would that slow this team down?
Even looking ahead to a second-round matchup for both these teams, guarding a guy like Royce White is going to be a problem because he's 6'9". His skill set is probably second to almost none in this tournament. He can really play. So it's not even just you're looking to Team Fredette or Scarlet and Gray, but next round, if Hilton Magic can advance, that'll be a problem for both these teams. And something that both these coaches have to really game plan against.
Fort Wayne has gone on a 16-5 run here in the fourth quarter. Remember, the region led 71-70 going into the fourth quarter. And we have the first stoppage in time with under 4 minutes to play. That means the game clock is off, and we will have the Elam ending with Fort Wayne.
It's time to move to Total Wireless. It's $35 a month. Purchase a new line or bring your number, and now for a limited time you'll get a month's worth of free data. That's 5 gigs of data that never expires for each new line. Total Wireless, total confidence.
Still nervous about finding a new apartment?
Yeah, but popping these things really helps me relax.
At least you don't have to worry about renter's insurance. Just go to geico.com.
I'll check them out.
Get to know Geico for renter's insurance.
It is Elam ending time in this 6-11 matchup. We are under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, so the game clock is turned off. We have set a target score equivalent to the leading team's total, +7 in this case. Fort Wayne has 86, so the target score is now 93. And we're not playing for time anymore. We're playing to 93 points. First team to hit that mark wins. Game at TBT 2018 ends on a walk-off. Hicks up top to Mavunga as Fort Wayne starts with the ball, and now the target score is only 4 points away.
That's a good start right there for Fort Wayne. Nice dribble penetration. Julian Mavunga ready to shoot. Just good offense for this Fort Wayne team.
Are you surprised to see DeAndre Thomas on the floor for the region, knowing that they need points?
A little bit. They've been able to run some offense through him, but
you need triples at this point.
I think you're going to need some three-point shots made. I would probably go with the smaller lineup, especially because Fort Wayne's gone small here.
Fort Wayne's been red hot in the fourth quarter. Hicks, corner pocket, yes.
That was clinical. I mean, that is great basketball. Great use of the pick and roll, and then a swing. That is good stuff. And again, Steph Hicks, the beneficiary in the corner.
This one could be over early. The region is making it rain too, but
can't trade baskets though. You got to get a stop. That target score is 1 point away. We've seen some signs of life on the offensive end, but now it's about getting stops.
This could be the quickest Elam ending we've seen at TBT, as Fort Wayne could go 3 for 3 in possessions.
They're going to go to the line now, and they could end it at the free throw line.
Yes. Doesn't matter how you do it, you just have to get to that target score to win the game. And so we've got a walk-off free throw opportunity now for Tradeon Hollins. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Ball game. Fort Wayne gets to the target score at the free throw line, and they end the game in a hurry. A flurry of points for Fort Wayne. The region played them tough in the middle segment of this game, the middle third really. But Fort Wayne scored from opening tip to final free throw, and the 6th seed is moving on to the second round.
Really credit Fort Wayne. They took some counter punches there from this region team. And credit the region too. They could have laid down, and they certainly did not do that. But Fort Wayne certainly to me looked like the more cohesive unit. And you could just tell they've played together before, and that's such a big part of this tournament. So credit the region for not laying down, but that's a good win for a Fort Wayne team that's moving on to the second round.
Trey McKinney-Jones appears to have been given the honor of putting the Fort Wayne champs plaque to the next round, but instead he hands it off to Steph Hicks, and what a tandem those two guys were. 29 for Steph Hicks and 13 boards. Trey McKinney-Jones chips in 26. So a fantastic performance for Fort Wayne. They dropped 93 on the region and are moving on to the second round.